Michael Caine may have a billion-dollar brain, but he's running half an hour late. These secret agents, what are they like? ETA Midnight on BBC One.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to World Cup Extra on the day that Rivaldo denies that he overreacted after stubbing his toe. China's 2-0 defeat is blamed on their failure to get on the end of the crosses. And on the eve of their opening game, the Tunisian coach doubles his team's win bonus. Coming up later, the most amazing piece of World Cup memorabilia ever. That's a personal guarantee. I sincerely mean that. It's the greatest item of football memorabilia ever brought into a television studio. Do you know what? I know you want to see him again. We'll see it later. I promise you, he's on. One All Man will be back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One All Man. He's a One All Man. But joining me to discuss the day's events and to look ahead to England's second game against Argentina, England football legend Jimmy Greaves. Hey, and Italian horse racing legend Frankie Dettori. Jimmy, enjoying the World Cup so far?
Yes, mate. Oh, brilliant. It's been a superb start to it. Normally, as you know, teams sort of look at each other and are very cautious about the whole thing. I think the way things have gone, they've gone for it right from the start, John.
Hasn't been one goalless draw.
There hasn't. And that's what I'm saying, really. They've gone for each other. Probably the worst game was Sweden v England, wasn't it?
Yeah, easily.
And the rest of the games have been really outstanding. The two today I thought were fabulous.
Did you get up at 7:30 for the Costa Rica-China clash?
Yes, I did.
Wow,
yes.
you've got it bad.
No, I haven't. It's just that, you know, I get up early. When you get old, John, you get up early. You walk the dogs and you come back and you look around and think, what can I do for the rest of the day? I know I watch the World Cup.
Is there a day that happens you think, do you know what, I'm going to start getting up early, I'm old?
Well, it happens. It just happens. You can't sleep.
Jimmy.
You're frightened to. You think, well, I ain't got long left of it.
You're like that.
So you want to get up early and...
You're like that in the night. You don't actually want to go to sleep in case you never wake up.
Exactly.
Death, don't stalk me.
And when you wake up, it's great. You know, it takes you 5 minutes to get out of bed, but, you know...
But when you wake up, you think, touch.
Exactly. Exactly.
OK, Frankie, have you seen the games, or are you too busy travelling between Hexham, Fontwell and Musselburgh?
Yeah, just about, yes. I've seen half a game. I've seen Brazil and I missed Italy, listened to it on the radio, and I missed the England game. But it's been very exciting. You know, Italy won, and
looked
very pleased.
Good as well, didn't
it? Good side.
In fact, we had a vote last night in the studio here, and it was felt on Peter Snow's swingometer that Italy were going to be the champions.
Yeah, we got a great chance. The team is very good, so fingers crossed.
OK, don't get all smug.
Come on, Italy.
In your Italian tight-fitting shirt.
That's why I put it on today, because we are unbeaten. That's why I put it on.
OK, Jimmy, have you been following this week about Sven having to build team spirit? Because that surprised me in a World Cup, you've got to do that.
It surprises me now because, I mean, if they didn't go with any team spirit, then he's got to build it while they're out there. I think the biggest problem is that psychologically, most of us look at it as though we lost.
Yeah.
As though we got beat. We had the game in our hands. We had it in our grasp. It looked as though, for all in pretence, that at half-time, England were going to get another goal, we were going to go 2 up, and we came out and we played like bloody fairies, didn't we? We really
You see, this is what gets me, is I just don't see a kind of a bonded unit of men out there. I see a lot of individuals at the moment. I don't see them quite... And I think, and I said this a couple of days ago, it's partly down to names. It's partly down to the names. If you look, it's David Seaman, David Beckham. In the old days, that'd be Dave.
It would be Dave, yeah.
You know, it's Michael Owen. He should be Mickey.
Yeah,
You know, the other night we had a Jimmy, Frankie, Johnny, proper names. We bonded.
As John said, it'd be Jamie now.
You'd be Jamie Greaves.
It'd be Jamie.
And it'd be Robbie Charlton or Robbie Moore.
Yeah.
There's no more Bobby. It's proper man's names. Darius Vassell. We've renamed him now Terry Vassell. Do you know what? You look at Costa Rica today, the Costa Rica-China game, you can see that the Costa Ricans, they're not naturally blessed with footballers' names. They've got all the usual Fernandez and Garcias, not football, good English, solid names, yeah, because they're Costa Rican. But you know what? They seem to have worked out a way forward, OK? Now, you have a little look at this. This is this morning's Costa Rica-China game. Now, this is Harold Wallace.
Brilliant.
A proper name. He could have played for the Royal Engineers in the 1930s. He goes off. Who comes on? Stevie Bryce. And they beat China because they've got proper, good, honest footballers' names. A name from the 30s replaced by a name from the 70s. As you'd expect, though, the Chinese, we know they're an innovative nation or an innovative nation. And what they've done is they've brought their own kind of naming thing going forward. Just have a look at this Chinese name, which I thought was quite weird. This is a guy's name. You see, for me, that's not a name, it's a car registration. It's a personalised reg, XPL1. OK, the two host nations played their first games today. Here to take us through all the highlights, here he is, our special correspondent, the man who put the bull in ebullience, Jim Bowen!
Hey! Costa Rica were in for a tough game today against China. The Chinese are no Scotland, are they? But after quite a bit of football, Gomez spanks in the opener for Los Ticos. The caffeine-crazed Costas then made it 2 with a header from the boy Wrighty. Bloody marvellous. I say, this is better than a speedboat. The muscles from Brussels meet the jokers from Japan. Mark Wilmot bicycle kicks the Walloons into the lead. But Suzuki nips in to equalise. Hi, karate, yubasa! Then the lads from the land of the rising sun, they take the lead with a banzai belter. I say. The Belgians may sup more ale than any other country, but they don't fart about when the chips are down. Soon it were 2 apiece. Only one word for that. Magic football. Dear, oh dear. Poland are caught napping by South Korea, who slaughtered them with 2 granny-goosing net busters. You beauty! Oh, I'm pissed off with this now. I'm going to have a pint.
Jim Bowen there, the voice of darts. Jimmy, when you see the World Cup, bearing in mind, you know, the painful thing that happened to you in '66, does it get harder to watch it?
No, not at all.
Doesn't open old wounds?
No. I got injured in the 3rd game, had a nasty cut down my shin, could see the bone, and, you know, now I've got so much weight on, I can't see any bones at all, you know. It's not painful at all, actually.
OK,
it's,
nice.
No, I mean, it's a great event. You have to say that it is probably the major sporting event in the world now, and you have to enjoy it.
What's your own proudest moment as a footballer, would you say?
My own proudest moment as a footballer? Difficult to say. I suppose when Spurs won the European Cup winners in '63 against Atletico Madrid in Rotterdam. Oh, you're an Arsenal man. But I mean, you know, that we were the first team ever to go to Europe and actually win a trophy. So I mean, you know, that sort of set the standard, and well, we've gone every year since and virtually won everything, haven't we?
Frankie, you know, you've become a great friend to this gentle nation, England.
Well, I've been in this country for 16 years now.
Do you find yourself starting to support us more than Italy?
Well, obviously, you know...
Don't look like it.
If you go a little bit further, obviously, yes. But making a big deal out of Sweden, I mean, their national sport is sex, and you can't even beat them, you know? Well, we usually try to get, we usually get to the last 4, and then it always goes down to penalties, what we're not very good at. But yes, I do. England is where I live, and this is where I've been for the last 16 years. So obviously, my blood is still Italian, and my name is still Italian. So I support Italy, but England is, is close to my heart too.
Yeah, but when you're watching England play, do you cheer us on?
Well, I get upset because we make such a big deal about the whole thing, and basically just let a player get on with it. And I think it's too much pressure on the English players. They're carrying too much pressure on their shoulders, and basically they go on the pitch and they freeze, because what we see...
Go on the pitch or the piss?
They don't go on the piss anymore, Jim. That's the problem. If it was Mickey Owen, he'd be pissed.
Yeah. That is their problem. They don't sneak out. You see, we used to sneak out.
They were always out.
Boom, get a few.
Who are you sneaking out and drinking with?
Bobby Moore and a few of the others.
Bobby or Moro?
Moro.
Men's names.
Moro. It was Moro.
Not Robert Moore, no.
No, not Robert. But that's it. I mean, we used to sneak out and sneak back,
You see, I don't think they do that now. I think they just hang around. Honestly, watching DVDs and playing PlayStation, and that is no way for a man to behave. Not when he's away from his wife and children. In the Far East, you can always... I went out for a stroll, bit of jet lag, couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Said for that, I agree.
Frankie, you are a friend of Steve McManaman. I think it's very sad he wasn't at least included in the squad. If he's good enough for Real Madrid, he's got to be good enough for England, is my thinking. Have you spoken to him recently?
I think he's very disappointed. Obviously, he's one of the only few players can go and attack defenders. He's been left out, and obviously he's very disappointed. He's probably pleased that he can come more often to the races now, but I think you left one of the best players out.
I understand you wanted to be actually a footballer.
Yeah.
How'd you end up as a jockey?
God, blimey.
Literally, the only thing we do when we were kids, just playing football. And then we left school in June, came back in September to start school again. And I stayed the same. Everybody else grew 1 foot. And I thought... And then when they start picking this, well, the little one stays out. And I thought, oh, God, I can't even play football anymore. So I thought, I better stick with riding.
Absolutely.
Jimmy, you ever want to be a jockey?
A disc jockey, possibly. But I've got bags under my eyes that weigh heavier than him.
It's a tight shirt as well.
It is a tight...
I've seen baggier tattoos. Almost all the teams have played, and we've seen a whole lot of haircuts. The Sun touched on it today. Have a look. There we go. They got their double-page spread on haircuts, which is fine. It doesn't mean that any of these haircuts have been put to the ultimate test. For that, they've got to be sent straight up the Northern Line to Barnet, where we'll find out if they're good enough to be put into Ray's parlour. Jimmy, who would you like to nominate for Ray's parlour?
Oh, without doubt, Taribo West of Nigeria.
It's an outstanding
It's
hairdo,
a superb.
In all your years watching the World Cup, would you say it's the most stunning bit of...
It's the most creative, wonderful, delicate piece of haircutting I've ever seen.
I think you're forgetting Bobby Charlton's comb-over, which I would say...
That came close.
That came close. Let's have a look anyway. Here we go.
It's wonderful.
Oh.
Isn't that beautiful?
OK,
Just after a christening.
I like it, but will it be good enough for Ray's parlour?
That's the butcher's job, Johnny. Who's responsible for that? They can't call themselves a barber. They're not coming into my parlour.
Ray Parlour there being very strict. I think he admired its sense of fun. There's no way that's going on the wall of his parlour. Frankie, who have you got there?
I was thinking of David James, but I've gone for Dario Silva from Uruguay.
OK.
I think the colour's gone a little bit wrong.
You think he's overdone the hydrogen peroxide?
I think so.
Could have been. Let's have a little look. Here we go. OK.
It looks like it's got some spaghetti in his
I don't know. You see, Ray could go either way. Ray could go either way with this one. We know he likes blonde hair. He doesn't mind a bit of peroxide. Let's see what Ray makes of it. Let's take another trip to Ray's parlour.
I like this one, Johnny. A nice feathered cut, very 2002. He's definitely going into my parlour.
Ray Parlour in. Ray's parlour. OK, for the next little while, we're concentrating on the big one, England-Argentina on Friday. Earlier today, I talked to the man who knocked England out of the World Cup in 1998 by saving this penalty from David Batty.
It's Batty, and he has joined them, and England again are out of the World Cup. on penalties.
No need to say silence, please, ladies and gentlemen. OK, David Batty, never taken a penalty before or since. Great choice. That goalkeeper was Carlos Roa. He now lives in Mallorca, but luckily he did agree to talk exclusively to World Cup Extra. I asked him about his memories of France '98 and that match. Here's what he said.
It was a very enjoyable experience, of course, because we progressed to the next round, but mostly because we removed England from the World Cup. I remember the satisfaction of knocking England out. It was one of the longest matches in history. It began one day and ended the next.
OK, what he meant there is that the game went on till after midnight. But here's the thing, though. After the World Cup, Manchester United tried to buy him, but he turned them down because he's a committed Seventh-day Adventist and he doesn't play on Saturdays. So he went to play in Spain. Then he gave up playing altogether because he was convinced the world would end at the millennium, on the stroke of midnight. So he went back to Argentina, he bought a remote farm and he waited for the end. You know, he's just sitting there around midnight, drumdy-drumdy-drum. Waiting for midnight, waiting for midnight. Midnight comes, world still exists. What does he do? I tell you what he did. He goes back to Real Mallorca. I asked him, what a guan.
No, the world was not supposed to end with the millennium. The world is going to end when Jesus returns. So, not yet. It is not the time.
OK, and unfortunately, he wouldn't specify when that time is, because I did want the inside track on that. Anyway, finally, I asked him if Maradona's famous goal in 1986 was the hand of God or straightforward Argentinian cheating.
It is difficult to say. I believe that God does not cheat. But there are certain circumstances. I think it was a clever thing to do by Maradona. That's part of the game, but it's not a good thing to do. It was wrong of Maradona.
How about that? See? Big man. OK, Jimmy, England-Argentina on Friday. What do you think?
Tough one, isn't it? Tough one now. They look a good side. You got to be honest, they do look a good side. They do, yeah. Oh, I've got an answer.
Security or hooligans, grab them. Okay, whoever comes first, tear them apart, rip them. Just kidding, that's incitement to racial violence, probably. I better not do that.
Yeah, no, they look as though they're on top of their game. Unfortunately, as I said before, England not winning, letting the second half go the other night was a little bit on a down. We've got to raise our game and raise it considerably.
I think
because
also
they are a good side.
They're a cracking side. I think also, you know, we put too much emphasis in the run-up to this on individuals, like your Beckhams, your Owens. And if Senegal taught us anything in this World Cup, it's about a team. And that's how they got to start thinking, because that is what wins the World Cup. The Brazilians, they are good individuals, but they're individuals who play amazingly as teams. Frank, what do you think of the...
But don't forget, Senegal have improved their dancing after this goal.
Yeah, that was a great dance. What do you think, if you've got to
I think it's a mountain to climb, I'll be honest with you. If you get a draw, I think is as good as a win, really. Because Argentina looks really strong. I think it'd be very hard to beat.
Yeah. Thank you, Frankie, for that ray of hope.
Well, he's right.
I didn't want honesty, Frankie. I didn't want honesty. OK, I promised you at the top of the show that priceless bit of memorabilia. You're about to see it. Before that, Jimmy, what's your most prized bit of memorabilia?
My prized bit of memorabilia? Well, I've got the Cup winners' medals, obviously.
You haven't got your World Cup winners' medal? We
didn't get a World Cup winners' medal. Only the 11 that actually played on the day got a medal. I mean, now the water carrier gets one if they win
he's
it.
doing a good job in Korea.
And anyone else who can get in on the act. But in those days, you only got, because there was no substitutes or anything like that. The only people who got a medal were the 11 players. Even Alf Ramsey didn't get a medal. Alf didn't get one. So they are pretty priceless. Yeah. I don't know how many other lads have got them.
I think most of them actually sold them, haven't they?
Most of them seem to have flogged them off.
OK, anyway, here we go. As promised, a world exclusive for World Cup Extra. You're about to see one of the most remarkable and valuable items of football memorabilia on the planet, and I'm not just saying that. Here is a clue.
Maradona just walked away from Huddle then. Valdano. Argentina. They're appealing for offside.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the world's most infamous item of football memorabilia, along with its owner, former England international Steve Hodge. All right, Steve. Welcome to the show. Excellent to have you down here. Okay. Right, I can tell you now, I will tell you now, that in that, average-looking, what could be owned by any sales rep kind of briefcase, is the very shirt that Maradona was wearing during the Hand of God incident, yeah? Steve, have you washed that shirt?
16 years now, I think it is, and not once now. It's the same sweat as it was on that day in Mexico City.
Have you sniffed it?
No, I've had a...
You'll probably get out of your head doing that.
No, I don't
Okay.
So it was a bit risky, really.
It would be risky. You'd probably start, the heart would start going, you'd be murdered.
Yeah, a bit risky.
The point about it is, do you really want to see this? Bearing in mind that is dripping with the sweat of pure evil. Do you really want to see this? Yeah. Look, are you sure you want to open this box and unleash evil? Steve?
Oh, no.
Open her up!
I think they're quite keen, aren't they? If it opens up, it's better. Not really. We're in.
Good milking, Steve. Loving you for that.
There we go.
There it is. That's it.
Where's the hand?
Somewhere else.
Steve,
Yeah.
why did you want the shirt when he just cheated us out of World Cup glory, really?
I didn't want it. I mean, it's my back pass, as you saw, but I was oblivious to what had gone on.
It was your assist, actually, wasn't
No, it was my assist, yeah, and I got no idea. I just turned around and Peter Shilton was doing that, and I just saw a clash, and I just thought, that was an iffy back pass. I've caused trouble there, really. And I knew Peter Shilton was, having to go at the referee, and Peter Beardsley, and, Terry Fenwick. But to me, I was just oblivious to it all. I just turned around thinking, I made a right ricket there, I've put us in the right cart. Let's get on with it now and try and recover if we can do.
Okay, so when did you get the shirt off Maradona?
The game ended on the pitch, there's cameramen everywhere, and it's just, bedlam basically. But I shook his hand, and I was thinking then, any chance, you know what I mean? But like, Chrissy Waddle was hanging around and Peter Beardsley was hanging around.
Why were they hanging around?
Well, I don't know, you tell me. I think
were they going to give him a Geordie-style beating?
Oh, possibly.
I'd like to think
possibly, yeah.
Okay, so we've got those two hanging around.
Well, they were hanging around, and his mates around him, they're all mobbing him, and you're just thinking, well, I'll get out, you know what I mean? It's a winner's place, you've got stuff, you're on your way home.
Yeah.
Shook his hand, turned away and went. Off the pitch behind the goal, there's like kind of a stairway on either side of the goal. I came down this way, and he came down that way, and he's got his mates around him still.
Who are these mates? You mean other players or mates?
The subs, sorry, not his mates.
Okay. I thought you sound like you're all firming up.
No, his teammates, and they're all pleased, and I'm like, kind of chin down here kind of thing. And our eyes kind of met, and I just thought, well, I'll take a chance, why not? I just tugged on my shirt, and he saw me, and he came straight across. He was 5 yards away. Put the shirts off, we just shook hands, and he gave it one of these, good luck. And
he went like that?
Yeah, and he kind of, as he does a lot. And when he scores a goal on TV, see him giving it that and all praying to whoever. I just give it one of them, shook hands again, and then he was off with his mates, and that was it. And I went off and put it in my bag in the changing room.
Okay, now this shirt could be worth about £300,000.
Well, you say so, Johnny.
Well, we looked into what other shirts were going for. I think it was 200,000, wasn't it, for Pele's?
Pele was 160. So
160?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got offered for that 4,000 quid 4 years ago, and I got offered 70,000 quid for it about 4 months ago. And then Pele's shirt went for auction at Sotheby's and went for 160. So, I mean, that's
God, you must have been watching that auction just like...
I was quite interested in it, yeah.
But the price is right for you, that is.
Yeah, it was interesting, really, wasn't it?
How much would you take off me so we could burn it?
What? On what you earn a week?
Yeah. Go on, how much to burn it now in a pyre?
I've got no idea, like I say.
Right, how much just to singe it a bit? That is an extraordinary thing to see. Do we want to turn it round so we can see the number? Yeah, go on, turn it round. Let's show it off.
All right.
We also, I tell you what I want you to hold it up, because this is amazingly small, this shirt. Just
what, front or back?
Yeah, there we go, front or back. Just hold it up for the crowd there. Look at that, there we go. Frankie, do you want to slip it on? Go on, Frank, slip it on your shirt. So let's can Frankie slip it on? Oh, I like it. He's actually quite protective about it.
Yeah.
Steve, I understand you keep this in a vault, don't you? It's not at home, in case you're watching and thinking, well, Steve's away.
Well, it was at home. It was at home, but the Pele shirt changed everything.
That changed everything, so now it's in a vault.
This is before he got fat, anyway.
How about that? It fits you. It was meant to be.
I told you I wanted to be a footballer, he was same size as me.
How about that? You see, you could have been a footballer after all. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Hodge. Keep it on, Frank. You can keep it up. Keep it up, Frank. That was the fastest he ever moved. Leg it, Frank! There we go. OK, now, Frankie, you are in the derby this weekend, the Vodafone derby this weekend. You've won all the other English classics twice, but never this big one. Is this your year?
I hope so. It's becoming a little bit of a taboo for me. I'm very excited, eh? Saturday, for me, is my biggest day, and try to win that derby. And it's everything for me, you know. It's like I won everything else but, so... And
also the derbys, you've had a second and 2/3 you've had there as well.
Yeah, getting close.
Does it get psychological? Does it become almost, you know...
Yeah, it does get exciting, you know. I mean,
stay positive, innit?
Yeah, I mean, I rode the horse this morning and it felt great, and you know, all of a sudden, I know it's 5 days away, but all of a sudden you're just picturing yourself coming around the turn and, you know, with a chance of winning, you know.
Okay, at the moment I think you're about 9-1 at the moment. Are you worth a punt?
Yes, I am. I think it'd be in the first 3. So it'd be a good each-way prospect.
Good each-way prospect, OK. When the racing blows over, you've got your ice cream and pizza range to fall back on, which isn't really conforming to racial stereotypes at all, is it? All you really need to do now is cut hair. But how's that all going? Are these...
Going good, actually. It's very popular, it's a bit of fun, and they taste quite good, actually.
They taste quite good?
Yeah, and actually I'm going to give the audience a free ice cream after this show.
You're giving the audience a free ice cream after this show? How about that? Stick the crate in the boot of my car as well.
Jimmy can have 2.
Jimmy can have 2.
Thank you, Frank.
OK, do you know what? Before we go, we've had thousands of emails from you begging for another glimpse at, yes, one all man. OK, hang on. For those of you who didn't watch last night's show, this is a man whose facial expression said more about the England-Sweden game than 1,000 words. You don't need pundits, you don't need experts, you don't need to see the game. Please enjoy, once again, one all man. One all man. That's it, you don't need anything else. If you know him, please get in touch at the address below. We did say he's from Gloucestershire. In fact, we've had a steer from someone who says he's from near Fulham. We've also had 7 emails from people claiming to be one all man. Do not do that. That's it for tonight. Thank you to my guests, Steve Hodge, Frankie Dettori, and Jimmy Greaves. Join me on Friday for a special show when my guests will be Sir David Frost and Eamon Holmes. Until then, keep watching the World Cup, keep the faith, good night.
And that'll be at 11:20 on Friday here on BBC One. Up next tonight, trust no one except perhaps Michael Caine, the agent with the billion-dollar brain.
Well, as the old-timers used to say, don't rub 'em, count 'em.